the DP Todd Family of Schools presentation. And who's Andrew? Are you going to start it? And then I see Stephanie there as well too. You're going to start, Stephanie?
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm actually usually louder and have a bit of bigger. So Andrew, let me start.
Okay, go.
Just kidding. He texted me just before. He goes, "You're starting, right?" I said, "Yeah." So thank you so much for having us today. So Andrew and I are here representing the DP Todd family of schools. So the DP Todd family, most of you know, but that includes Quinson, Heritage, Foothills, Edgewood, and Spruceland. So Edgewood and Spruceland are our newest additions. They've been here for the last, they've been part of the family for the last this is our second year with them. And we kind of talked about what we wanted to highlight for our family, and we decided on talking about some of the outdoor land-based programming that's been happening at DP Todd Secondary, because it's kind of it's actually really part of the reason that we have this programming is actually based on our family of schools and the students we have coming in. So what I mean by that is we went from 3 schools in our family to 5 2 years ago, and our learners are really diverse. So DP Todd has quite a high number of students that are coming from very vulnerable situations. We have a high number of group homes in our area that pull a lot of students that are coming from some of our smaller outside communities, and they end up in these group homes and coming to school here. Our programming has actually needed to change. So I'll talk a little bit just about how this has come to be, and then and I think they'll, if there's questions at the end, we can go further into stuff. But I'm glad Katie's on here, because this actually all started when she was one of the vice principals at DP Todd, and they're going through and we're suspending kids and trying to figure out, like, how are we actually supporting kids, because we're sending kids out 5-day suspensions and you're not connected with kids. So Katie, along with one of the teachers here, Reed Roberts, Reed has his own trap line, and so they got talking a little bit and started to take kids out on the trap line. Instead of suspending them out of school, they would actually go on the trap line. So then I came along, and there was this big idea concocted about how they wanted to do this land-based program, and I didn't know any better, and so I said sure. And I actually think Lee at the time was like, "Man, if I was the principal, I don't think I'd approve that for cost." And I was like, "Well, I'm actually a new principal and couldn't really do math very well." So we went for it, and I'm actually super thankful that we did, because as we moved through the year, it became apparent how valuable this program was. So it went from students being taken out a couple at a time on the trap line to an actual grade 10 program that was a full semester course that allowed students. So 2 teachers took a group of students. There were supposed to be 24 students. There was a few more than that. And basically everything was land-based. So they worked, they went on all sorts of field trips as much as we could with the COVID year, and really focused around project-based. So what that means, if you're unsure, is that they weren't just doing their 4 regular courses you would do at the secondary level, so a 1, 2, 3, 4 day. They were actually doing 6 courses in 1 semester. So not only does that actually support that project-based lens, but it actually really supports when we're looking at graduation rates, because you're allowing students to gain more credits at that grade 10 level than they typically would in a year. So as we kind of went through that year, we realized that this is something we could potentially do at the senior level. So this year we've run it at the senior level. So we just finished our first semester of the Dead Pine program, and that was with our grade 11s and 12s. And I got to be honest, I'm somebody who I'm a yes person, but I'm learning that sometimes you have to say no to things. And so as I was looking at, like, how are we moving forward? What are we doing in, like, this coming year? I've been thinking about, is this feasible? What are, is this possible to continue running these programs? Well, from the lens of when we look at the work that we're doing with Truth and Reconciliation, the work that we are doing to create, we're not creating programs like we're not having kids go into our programs. We're actually having to create programs that work for kids. And when we look at it from that lens, this program is actually bang on. And although it's a group of 24 students, it's still a group of students that we're teaching skills to, and they're getting to learn in a different way. And so again, in thinking that with that principal lens of, okay, like, is this feasible for us to run again? I've been having some conversations with students, and I got to be honest, the one, it's quotes like, I actually look forward to coming to school. And that quote, this program isn't just for students who are struggling learners. This is we have students in there that are A+ students that come from families who have means for things. And so it's kind of an array of students. But that quote was actually from a student who's typically an A+ student in a mainstream program. I actually look forward to coming to school. We learned about things we can actually use in real life. I liked learning about more than one thing at a time. So that PBL approach. The one that actually really got me was a grade 12 student. And he goes, I don't like school. I haven't liked school my whole entire school career, but this course was incredible. I haven't experienced anything like it. And this is a grade 12 boy. Those are his exact words. It was perfect for kids like me. And it included all the courses I needed to make sure I graduated. And when I heard that, I went, yeah, well, sorry, I just need a little bit more money because that is what we need to be doing. We need to be creating spaces for our learners, and specifically like our DP Todd family. There's kids from every one of those 5 schools that will be going into this programming. And so at the grade 8 level, we have Reed Roberts taking kids on the trap line. He has a huge list of kids that are getting into trouble, kids that are just super excited about the outdoors, kids that need that personal connection time, a positive male role model, positive, whatever it is. So he's taking kids out at the junior level. Then we have the grade 10, grade 9s and 10s in that middle group, the HAWK program. And then our Dead Pine program is the 11s and 12s. So I'll turn it over to Andrew now to kind of speak to it at the elementary level, and then we can open for questions.
All right, so there's been a lot of numerous classes in our family schools, and I think throughout the district, that have been invited out to the Trapline program with Reed and Ian. From what I've seen at our school, it's creating great opportunities for relationships and connections with DP Todd and the elementary schools. When Reed and Ian, they come and they started at our school by just doing school-based presentations, and eventually they started taking some of our classes out to the Trapline. So the first time they came to our school, they actually brought some hides in, and they were teaching our grade 6 and 7 students how to skin and treat the hides. And the students got to take turns. It was hands-on. They got to help with the process during the presentation. And we actually had numerous grade 7 students talk about that one hour period of time being the highlight of their year. And they're really excited to go to DP Todd for that very reason, because they thought they might get more opportunities to do activities like that. So then elementaries from our family schools have also got to go out to their different sites. So they've gone ice fishing, they visited the trap lines. And it's really important because many of our students actually don't get the opportunity to connect with the land, either with their families outside of school or with their classrooms in school. And it creates excitement. It opens up opportunities for students to explore the outdoors, allows them to explore local culture. And they actually, there's a lot of benefit mental health wise from being outside for the students. We had a grade 3-4 class go out this year out to their trap line, and after they came back, the teacher did a little reflection piece as well. So I asked them just to pass on a few of the reflections. One of the students said, I felt really happy when we were drumming in the forest. It made me feel happy to get to explore in the forest because I never get to do it. And another student just said, I wish we could go there every day. So there's a lot more reflections, and they were all very positive. One of them made me laugh because one of the students just said, I was really excited because I got to find and carry around a big stick. That was the highlight of his day. But the reflections do speak to the importance of all of our elementary schools building on and finding more opportunities for land-based learning, because the kids really appreciate it and love it. At Edgewood, they've kind of expanded it a little bit. So they had classes participate in ice fishing and visit the trap lines. And now their school has started an after-school outdoor program where they go on hikes. They've been learning to build shelters, and they've been working on plant identification. And I know that teachers from numerous schools in our family have also just started to do the same thing, even utilizing green spaces like Moore's Meadow and even Rainbow Park, just to try to foster more land-based opportunities. So I think through this program, it's starting to reach elementary schools, and it's sparking a lot of interest among educators in our family and across the district. So it's I think it's really special that we have it in our family and that we get to take advantage of it.
Any questions? I think we could probably talk way longer about it, but we'll put it on now.
Any questions for Stephanie or Andrew? Or comments?
I'm never that clear. Maybe Andrew's that clear. So there's got to be questions.
I don't think I am.
Trustee Warrington.
Oh, yes, Stephanie. My goodness sakes, this is powerful. We had a meeting today with the Indigenous Education Leadership Table. And one of the things we're talking about is how are we changing the system to address the needs of students in ways where they are excited to and have experiential learning that builds their confidence, as the after-school program has already demonstrated in their presentation. But to have this embedded in our schools in ways that do engage students in that they want to be there, they're excited about their learning. My hat's off to you, and we need to be able to afford these programs. We absolutely must think about it that way, that these programs are vital to all children to have these opportunities. Having, the fact that we do have green spaces in our communities, such as Moore's Meadows, and places where those experiences can happen. And hats off to the work you're doing, the 3 programs. I think it's wonderful that the way you're engaging the elementary schools and exciting them in these land-based programs as well. So, but yes, indeed, we need to find ways where we can offer more of these programs to more students. This is where we're going to see those grad rates go up. This is where we're going to see the engagement become what we want to see, where kids are excited, motivated, and want to be in school. So thank you for this work.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. I think I'll add the clarity to that. Our Indigenous Education Department, that was part of the way we were actually able to fund the program the first year, is that our Indigenous Ed department said, okay, we're going to pay for a full-time teacher, and then we split. So we had 2 teachers and they paid for half their positions each. And that's how the elementary schools became involved in the programming, because then those 2 teachers, so right now we have Reed Roberts and Ian Tanner, who are half-time DB Todd and half-time district. And what that's actually allowed, last year we kind of had, the first semester was DP Todd, second semester district, and we realized we needed to make it every other day, like just make it that so that it was more flexible. And so it's been really cool, because not only are they able to do programming with our feeder, our family schools, as well as other schools in the district, but they actually have been doing integration of, like Andrew was talking about. So if they're taking kids from Quinton, they'll take kids from older students from DP Todd for that mentorship piece. And if they're at PGSS, they take Ron Brent kids or NUSDAO students. And so that's actually been a really cool connection too. And I think that's part of working in families, is actually fostering those relationships and having those older students mentor younger students and teach those students about that mentorship. So that's been really exciting as well.
It's a very organic thing. I think it will grow because it's important. And I just believe that it is the right way to go. My hat's off to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions to Stephanie or Andrew? Yeah, this is a fantastic program with my daughter going to DP Todd. I remember bringing her to work one day or bringing her to school one day, and they were actually roasting a pig on a spit to school. And it was like, wow, that's awesome. It's like I 100% agree with Trustee Warrington. This is where we're going. This is where we need to go. And, we've all been challenged by our rights holders and our stakeholders to do things differently. And this is an example of us doing things differently. And, those comments that Andrew read out from students just resonates with me. We need kids to be excited to come to school, to feel welcome, to feel belonged. And this program does that. And I just only wish, we got to find a way to expand this program. And you're right. I think DP Todd is, the envy of the school district to offer programs like this. I know PGSS has the EPIC program as well too, which is similar. But wouldn't it be wonderful if we could offer this at every high school throughout the district, and in a year or two from now? And as trustees and the board, we just have to find a way money-wise to make that happen, because this is working. This is really connecting, really engaging the students. With that being said,
Well, could I just add?
yeah, sure, Trustee
Chair,
Warrington.
I'd just like to add one more. I want to add one more comment because
Sure.
this afternoon I sat with an elder, Doris, and I forgive me, I can't recall her last name, but she is a person who works with plant identification and that type of thing. And so expanding those opportunities to the elders in our communities who have that knowledge, where they can come in and even take children on a walk in the forest around their schools, where they could identify the plants in their environment. It's just a rich opportunity for at all levels, K right through to 12, to be able to feel that connection to the land. And so I've said enough, but these opportunities, we do need to keep moving them forward and giving them the support that they require.